Hello, everyone. Today I'd like to present the platform MethodMate.AI. Before, I want to talk a little bit about AI and its use in research. Let me share my presentation. My name is Kairat Moldashev, and I'm associate professor and also of this platform. So today's topic is boost your research productivity by using AI ethically. So basically, now people, especially in academia, researchers and students, are using AI in different ways. Because previously we had, maybe even some still have these questions: should AI be used in research? Is it okay to use AI in research in terms of ethics, in terms of how it works? For example, sometimes we have hallucinations, falsification of data. So all of these questions are there. As progress goes on, I think we are going forward, and now it's less of a question. People are using AI. Nowadays, it's more about how to use AI in research. Yeah, how to ethically use AI. And the best way to prevent plagiarisms, bias, and misuse of AI, I think it's educating and it's learning how to use it ethically. So that's, I think, one of the important parts of what should be happening in academia. And the platform itself is based on three main principles. First is productivity. So AI can boost productivity, especially when we use prompt engineering, when we provide a context, let's say, and the platform has a structured way from idea to publication. And it's not like a separate prompt, it's more of interlinked system of how you can start, let's say, a project and finish it and submit a paper to a journal. So that's productivity boosting. Next principle is about ethics. So ethical using AI. And it was one of the main kind of components when I started to design these prompts. So it's not like write the paper or write a particular part of the paper kind of prompts. The structure of the platform itself, how it's designed, is to make sure that the researcher is uh, like it's having the steering wheel, yeah. So the main author of the article. So we can, also there are some prompts, for example, I'll show you later about rechecking the sources with the claims that you put and cite in your article and cite those sources. So there are some rechecking prompts also, but this is not the main thing, but it's integrated in the like a structure. And one of the particular, like most important maybe principles that I was using, it's a learning. Nowadays we have these issues of cognitive offloading, and the platform also helps not only to just increase productivity, but especially for beginners, for doctoral students, for maybe early career researchers, this may also provide more of an assistance in terms of learning. Let me I talked about prompt engineering. So most of the prompts, the main part of the MethodMate is a prompt library, and prompts are designed using prompt engineering. Here are some examples like how good prompts should be, like clear goal, indication of the context, output format, and assigning, we call it persona pattern, assigning AI a role. And these are some examples. Of course, there are some more, like, for example, when drafting, we use outlining patterns, we have chain of thought, and there are many patterns. And uh, the whole system is called prompt engineering. So I've been experimenting AI with AI, especially in research for the last at least 2 years, for more than 2 years. I'm also active scholar myself. I have publications in journals like Higher Education Studies, Higher Education Quarterly, and many others. And first, like I was using this prompt for myself, but at some point I was sharing with my colleagues and sometimes forgetting in which folder the particular prompts are, and trying to kind of make a systematic organization of my prompts. I came up with the idea of this platform, and that's how it came to being. And also, in terms of ethics, yeah, we have main risks when using AI. And I will show a bit, like maybe after a few minutes, the platform itself, a few examples of how it helps with ethical issues. But in terms of risks, of course, main issue is a bias. Yeah, the AI platforms, AI large language models were trained on the data, and it's not only scholarly articles, but peer-reviewed articles, but it was newspapers and many other sources. Uh, and so the bias that we have in society has also became a part of these large language models. Of course, opacity, black box, especially, for example, for literature review, if we're using such platforms as Consensus, Insight, and many others. Of course, it's good for brainstorming, it's good for identifying, let's say, research gaps, but you cannot publish with that in a journal you cannot publish systematic literature review. Why? Because you cannot explain what were the keywords and what happened behind the scenes. And falsification, hallucination, I think it's common. So these kind of issues are common. And in the platform also, not only the prompt itself, but I try to, if you are doing a qualitative, if you're using prompt for qualitative analysis, for example, when you paste it in the platform, in the large language Gemini or ChatGPT, the first thing you see is some kind of warnings what not to do. For example, not uploading the transcripts that contain names or any information that can identify participants. So this kind of checks are always there. And yeah, I will show sources. This is one of the it's kind of beyond plagiarism. Yeah? Not only plagiarism, but also to make sure that we are not falsifying, we are not providing false sources or false claims from existing sources. So that's kind of prompts are also there. And the last point, the last principle I want to discuss today is and how it's related to platform too, skills. So nowadays, especially in the learning process, there are a lot of research on students, on the, for example, we call it cognitive offloading, skill atrophy, when too much relying on artificial intelligence makes to diminishing of certain skills or makes acquiring those skills, especially for beginners, for those who are learning, very difficult. So that's quite a problem. So to address it, the prompts that are on the platform in a way that it also reinforces learning, not only provides certain results, but at the same time reinforces learning. So without further ado, let me just go to the platform. So platforms look like this: research productivity enhancing prompts. So it consists, the main part of this platform is a prompt library. It's on the first page. And the prompts are structured according to IMRAD. Of course, it's not just for writing a article, but it's generally the research process. But it starts from the idea. So let's say you are a doctoral student starting dissertation or in the midst of dissertation or starting a researcher who starts a new project. So usually we have a certain topic, and next stage is finding relevant articles, analyzing literature, finding a gap, spotting the gap, developing research problem, research questions, and it goes so. I mean, we are going to the methods, research design, theoretical frameworks, and data analysis. There are prompts that will help you to prepare documents for ethical approval, which is also quite burdensome. After we analyze data, we have certain results. So here are the prompts how to present these findings, reviewing those findings, and discussing them, linking it again to the preparation for publication, like drafting intro and abstracts, verifying claims with sources that one I talked about, and finding journals and peer reviewers. So these are some like basic. The platform will not be static. So I launched it like fully some 2 weeks ago, and there was a pre-launch in December. there was some already people who subscribe it, and I'm also talking with them. And there are certain like wishes from those people. So the prompt library will be expanding by itself. Here, just one, maybe just to show how it works from the very first one. And it's also available for testing. Some prompts are, especially first prompts, are available for testing on the platform just for free. And so here it explains what's the aim of these prompts. There's some certain explanation how it works. For example, let's say you have a topic and you wanted to identify a gap, yeah, to gap spotting exercise. So here, how to find literature. Of course, we can use other AI platforms like Consensus, many others. But let's say if you're writing a systematic literature review and others, you need to provide like what are the keywords, which search platforms have you used, for example, Scopus, Web of Science. So that's important. So here, what I mean is not why we say it's ethical use and the researcher is in charge. So that's how it goes. It helps to boost productivity, but it's not like giving everything to AI. So here for Scopus search, the first thing is to come up with a good search strategy. So this prompt, you can just copy it here, put it in any platform, let's say ChatGPT or Gemini. The prompts are also developed in a way that they can work with free versions because you do not upload like tens of documents. So it's made in a way that, and they are tested on free platforms, free versions of Gemini and ChatGPT. So as you can see how the prompt looks like, it's quite extensive, comprehensive prompt, going stage by stage. So when you just paste it, and so it will be asking some questions. So it will be leading. So here it's asking for a topic, and let me say impact of AI on research. And next it will, here's a learning component also. So it got the topic. Now it's proposing that using PCC framework to coming up with keywords for searching. So population concept context. And then it's asking for whether you would like broad search or medium search or very narrow search. And by this kind of question answer, after several stages, it will produce you a search block based on Booleans. So the search block will be based on using this and or not, like quotation marks, everything. So you can just paste it into Scopus. Someone new to the Scopus platform, how to use advanced search in the Scopus and find the relevant articles. And then it goes like after you found the article, the, let's say, analysis. This is important part because when I'm saying using AI ethically, and also this platform is not just separate prompts, but the whole system, the approach how to use AI. For example, here you found some, let's say 20, 30 articles. Of course, the main thing is to read. Usually without using AI, for example, as scholars, we do not, let's say we have 50, if you cite 30, 50 articles, we do not like read all of them like from the beginning to the end, but at least 10, 15 we read, 10, 15 we look through, 10, 15 we just look at the particular parts. So there are different strategies, yeah, for everyone. And always like we use a certain kind of tables or certain documents to analyze those articles because yeah, we tend to forget. So it's always some kind of some analysis happens. Yeah, we take some notes, and this prompt helps to make this kind of summary of articles, the file with summary of articles. So in AI, when using AI in research, you can of course upload 20, 30 articles. Now, first of all, for that you need paid version, and also it's too much information. So the Gemini has more, for example, limit for that, but it's still not enough to practically work with that amount. For example, even 20 articles is too much. And also each article has a source information for another 40 articles. So usually AI gets frustrated and there's a lot of hallucination and false sources and other things involved. But this is different approach when you summarize those articles first and make only one file out of 30. Of course, this is not very short summaries. These summaries are the prompt itself, of course, provides a basic like citation, purpose of the article, methodology, including theoretical framework, results, and suggestions for future research. And the prompt also goes like you can, and here it's better not to use, for example, uh, ChatGPT, but it's better to use Gemini because I mean, when you experiment, and in general, there is each platform has its own unique identity. So ChatGPT is more of creative person, creative writer. It's good for outlining, for brainstorming. Gemini is more like scholar or engineer that is more precise and less creative, but good for certain, like for data analysis, for this kind of article analysis, it's better to use Gemini platform. So here, um, it will analyze the articles. And there are certain tricks. For example, let me just uh, upload one open access article here. Uh, on the topic of impact of AI on research productivity. So it will analyze the article, tricks on what should be the result. For example, if you just analyze the article and like few sentences as a prompt, yeah, it mostly produce some analysis with bullet points, but here it's a bit different approach. It produces analysis with full source information. So it's when you use a file later on different stages of writing and research process for like gap spotting, for literature review, for discussion sections, for example. So the source information is correct. And you always check with the article. So you have the article, PDF, you read, you check. So that's the most important part. Then it methodology and theoretical part, because we need the theoretical and conceptual part. And it's not bullet points. Why? Because it should be full information. So later on, when you upload this article, the large language model understands it fully, not in bullet points, and does not add external information. So findings and suggestions for future research. So all of these are there. So generally, platform works like this. So next set of prompts, and it goes one by one. Of course, you will skip certain steps in the process. For example, if you are doing qualitative research, you will skip something related to quantitative data analysis and this kind of stuff. But in general, it's more like a step by step. But I know some people, some more established professors who are now using this platform, and they're just, for example, they subscribe only for using it for qualitative analysis. So uh, everyone is using it differently. Additionally to this, there is a course on how to use this platform, but not only. So it's you can think of it as a mini research course, like research methods course, plus using AI, yeah, especially this platform and in general. So it provides a certificate, and you can see the syllabus here, and it consists of five parts: introduction, like methodology, qualitative approaches, and discussing findings and publishing. Of course, the platform will grow, and there will be some other courses in the future related to more specific fields of science. And I also have some offers coming from other scholars that are experimenting with AI to add more prompts, let's say, on math and more particular fields of science. So it will be growing. And in terms of course, here just some sample presentation. There is some video, and there are some also reading materials. And the flow is also like not only on how to use AI in prompts, but also like how to get published. So focus on that. So idea, it's usually easy to articulate practical significance, but the most difficult part in publishing is novelty. Yeah. Um, because reviewers and editors will be looking for why we should publish it, why it should be interesting, what's a novelty. For that, we have to know existing knowledge, establish gap, and show our contribution. And so there are some shortcuts on how to do. First, it's better to read review articles and have systematic approach. Of course, we can use this kind of platforms, but there's another approach, like more traditional approach, and also AI can help with that. So how the platform can help. And here I explain the Booleans and how to analyze the article and this, for example, summary file and problem statement, how it should be articulated, for example, in the article to make sure the editors exactly see that there is a gap and there is a novelty. So this is a kind of research methods course that is mostly focused on like make sure that your research results get published at the end of the process. So that's a basic idea of also it's a basic idea of the platform. Additionally, there are some blogs where I will be publishing some different posts on articles, new books, and also some tricks and life hacks related to a publication, related to a research process, and announcing new prompts to the platform. So that's blog also will be growing. But here now I have what kind of MVP, minimum viable product that someone can start from the idea till the publication, ready to use. In terms of, let's say, pricing, we have different plans. So it can be start from the monthly plan individually, or it can go till annual, which provides, of course, with discount. For annual, it's only 99, and of course, with annual plan, but for monthly plans, the course comes with a discount. For research groups, for example, I had some requests to have this plan because there are some grant projects and others. So they requested particularly for these group plans that every member can use. And also, of course, there are enterprise plans that I'm working with universities nowadays. So there are universities that are interested to provide access for all academic staff members. So this is a brief demo of how it works. The one that I wanted to just briefly show, the verifying claims with sources. Yeah, so this one particular prompt that's particularly very useful and not only just like overcoming the system and the anti-plagiarism check. So it's very important in terms of that ethically we do not use in our articles, in our texts, the claims that are not existing they do not exist in a previous research and we cite properly. So this prompt will help to make sure that, for example, you have a draft article and for that, you need summary of the article. So that's most important. Of course, you can upload the articles that you have used, but most importantly, it's better to use a summary of the article. And it matches one by one each citation in your draft with the summary, because in the summary, the sources and everything are well structured. So it provides very important information whether there is a full match or mismatch or partial match. And even if you have written sometimes the article by yourself fully without AI, it may identify some, not maybe mismatches, but partial matches, and will help you to make sure that your claims, the text that you use in the article and cited other sources really match those claims made in those sources. So that's also important prompt. So in general, that's how it goes. And maybe the last slide is from my seminar is that for those who are interested in general, we can use this promo code method25 for signing up for any of this. So it's can be used for any plan. And yeah, here's my LinkedIn and here's the website information. So thank you for your attention. Thank you for coming.